looks can be deceiving. When they hear the sound of the drum.
Purely because protein is expensive.
Yeah.
Chicken breast,
Yeah,
beef.
yeah.
How much you roughly spend?
Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. I used to think that people die because they wicked.
It was alabatala manyoka.
Wanna see you dead because you gifted being ready for my tomb since I came about the womb.
And a whey protein isolate or a carnivore.
Whichever the brand.
Yeah, whichever the brand, it'll help you with.
Burn bridges, flip pages, went places, made changes, still dangerous. Now I'm back. Altercation, hold still. I make it painless. How it feel, baby? When you say you
ED or steroids.
The
or
people who
anything.
use it.
full speed, both hands on the wheel, baby. Young Taz coming from the Mobile, baby. You know the drill, baby. Yeah.
Hi guys, good to be back with another episode. Last time we caught up with Gaia, and it's just fitting enough to get Yohan today. The best part is, I've known
Thanks for having me.
Best part is I've known this guy for almost 19 to 20 years. So we go back to grade 1, having played together. So I guess this conversation is a little easier, which also means that we will be trying our best to bring a lot of value. So some of the stuff we are going to talk about are nutrition, dieting. I would say under the topic, building the perfect aesthetic physique. I think that's what Yohan is chasing. That's what he has done. That's what he's helping people do. So it's ideal that we talk along those lines in this conversation. So good to have you. I'm just going to call him Yoka because that's what I'm more familiar with. And I'm just straight going to dive into the first question of, what's, in short, what's the journey like? You were a guy, yes, you've been in the gym for the longest years, like from the days you play rugby to now. But a lot of things have changed now to a coach, to someone who helps people. But in short, what's this journey of your personal fitness life like?
So started in 2011 with rugby and came out of school, kept training, didn't want to give up on training, wanted to, look good, feel good. And didn't have nutritional understanding whatsoever at the start. But, things happened and I just didn't stop training. And how can I put this? So yeah, about 2 years ago, I was involved in other places to, how can I say it?
Other business.
Yeah, other businesses. I was an employee of another, few businesses, and this fitness turned into my, it has always been my passion, and it started making money for me. And about 2 years now, I've been totally 100% involved in this. I have my business running. Yeah, so 2011
awesome.
to now.
So, if you look back, Yoga, 2000, early 11, 12, 13, there was not much knowledge. I don't think you were knowledgeable or any of us. It was just going to the gym, just sweating, lifting heavy weights, ego lifting, some would say. I would say nutrition was almost not even spoken of. That's probably where we would have gone wrong in our foundation days. Yeah. So just to get back in, where did the knowledge part come from? How did you educate yourself? How did you go from a normal gym junkie to someone who's now a coach, someone who's competing? A lot of knowledge. How did that happen? Where did you get your knowledge from?
Okay, so initially, when I was being I wanted to get to know more, right? Not to be a typical gym bro or So YouTube was the first initiative, and then I want to take it to the next level, and I started with ISSA, and being with my fiance, being with top league players in Sri Lanka, and and when I competed also, I worked with a next level coach, and now I'm working with another coach who's in an international level. So yeah.
Okay, so you spoke a little bit about information you got through YouTube. Now for the young ones, all the ones who just start in gym, would you advise YouTube? Because there's so much information, which are some correct, wrong.
Yeah.
So how would you advise someone to get information to start their fitness journey? I think knowledge is so important. People have come to an understanding where you just go to the gym and start lifting weights. There's more to it. You need to know the science. You need to know how your body works.
Yeah.
Would you advise YouTube to be a place to go for? Or if not, are there any stuff they should read or, get a coach? How do you tackle this aspect of learning?
So you have to throw yourself at it, on YouTube, you'll have so many people talking so many other things. In when it comes to fitness, you have, I think as far as I know, if you type in, okay, how to squat,
Yeah.
the first three results would be like the top
Yeah.
search, like
True.
So those would be like the videos you could watch, and like find a role model, find a few role models, and follow their, like when you follow a person, an individual, you will understand, like watching his videos, whether he's BSing, or whether he's whether does he want to give out something special. So find a few role models and start your journey. Just throw yourself at it. Do your research. Do your, just yeah, throw yourself at it, I would say.
Before diving into nutrition and training, I'm going to ask a bit of a controversial question. So after this question, we are going to go to the real practical stuff of how to eat, what to eat, how to train, what to train kind of approach. Before that, just one controversial question, because you brought this up. Now knowledge is everywhere. It's on YouTube. Literally, when someone wants to learn something, how to diet, you type on Google how to diet, you get it.
Yeah.
If that's the case, what you do, or what all this, everyone's something industry that's becoming so famous is online coaching. Right? Why is online coaching needed when the freedom, or the when it's free, when information is free? What is that online coaching does differently that this free education? Why can't someone just do it on your own? Why do they need a coach, or why do they need you, or anyone who's in this industry? Because online coaching is right now one of the most things that are getting popular, which we'll dive into a little later also, but just to touch, since we were on this topic.
Okay, so the reason why you would want a coach is so that you'll have a person who will be able to guide you through. So when it comes to an online coach, it has to be a reliable coach also, not just a coach who wants to be a coach, right? You need to, like, having a coach and getting your calories sorted out, whatever the goal is, and then doing your necessary adjustments at least once a week, right? When it comes to, once a week, or once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks. So towards, if you want to be competition ready, you need to do your changes and like doing those little adjustments once a week, if not once a month. So having someone to help you do all of that, and you just following the process, following the nutrition, following the workout regime, I think that's so much easier than you trying to figure it out and all of that. But yes, you can do your training by yourself, but it won't be accurate as much as having a reliable coach. I would say.
Just to add to that, I think also accountability. When you have a coach, someone you follow.
I mean, even I have a coach. Even all these top level league players have a coach. Because that way, we just have to focus on our work, like nutrition, training, simple.
Right. So, I mean, being accountable is, I think, something that really helps you. One of the most added benefits. But also, if you're someone who can't afford a coach, you can do it on your own. You would agree, no?
100%.
You can learn on your own. But if you're someone who can afford the luxury of having a coach, it is something important. Straight to the point, let's cut. All boys just want to, nowadays, all the guys want to look aesthetic. Right? Aesthetic means having a physique that's aesthetically pleasing looking. So the proportionate shoulders, the abs, I think all this is what the boys are chasing on for right now. Okay, now let's get practical. How do you do this? How do you build an aesthetic physique? It's a long answer, but let's break it down, and we'll start from the nutrition, because nutrition is the most important part. Is it workout nutrition? I would say nutrition is the most important.
I would say
to build that perfect aesthetic physique, which we see you bringing to when you come on stage, when you compete. That's what people are looking for. How do you do it?
So I would say nutrition would be 98% of the whole process, right? And that 2%, 3%, 5% would be the resistance training, the aerobic work you do, list, hit, whatever. So I don't know how I could dive into this. So first of all, you need to start eating clean, right? Have food, have whole foods. Get rid of your fizzy drinks, excessive amount of sugar. It's okay to have sugar, but not excessive amount. For example, if
I would think otherwise.
So when it comes to, like, let's say a fizzy drink, you go into the market and you get yourself, those fruity juices. Look at the nutritional side. You'll have 100 milliliters. That fizzy drink would have about 50 grams of sugar. So the whole fizzy drink is about 300 ml. So 50 into 3, you'll be consuming 150 grams of sugar. So those are little things that most of these people, they don't know. So that's why we always like look at the nutritional side, and that's why we simply just cut it out. So just focus on, what was the question again?
The question is nutritionally.
Yeah.
What do you need to do to
Okay.
look? Being aesthetic is about actually having very low body fat and building a bigger muscle.
Yeah.
So to do that, nutrition wise, what do you need to do?
So should I talk about calories?
Yeah.
Also, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if your goal is to, obviously like to cut down your fat and get more muscle, you need to like go on a, I would say simple. I think Guy also said the same thing. Go on a bulk, right? And then you make muscle. Just focus on a proper bulk without just going crazy with your calories, right? Not just everything that you eat, your donuts, your sugar, like liters of ice cream. That's not the way. So you calculate yourself how much of calories you need, and then you kramakrame kadana, like sati. So over a period of time, you slowly cut down your carbs, cut down your your fats, and do the little adjustments, and you bring it down, and you go on a calories deficit. And with deficit, you can change your frequency of training. I'm trying to keep it.
Let me pause you and ask. A lot of people want to burn fat while building muscle. Can you do that? Can you lose fat and build muscle at the same time?
Oh yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
How do you do it?
So, my gosh, you're putting me on the spot. Right. How do
In
you?
simple terms?
Yeah. So how do you lose fat while building muscle? So you can be on a. Okay.
The reason why I asked that was because, to lose fat, you need to be on a deficit.
Yeah.
And to build muscle, you need to be on a surplus.
Yeah.
So how do we do this at the same time? Is it what people call a lean bulk? Does that help?
You could do lean bulk, but I would personally, Okay.
How would you do it? Would you bulk first?
That's a bit.
Yeah.
I would first bulk, and then I'll start cutting it down.
Okay.
Right? And then it would be like an ideally, that would. Yeah,
So I think what Yohan is saying is that within the 12 months, you select a period of 6 months or whatever time where you want to bulk.
Yes.
And you need to be okay with the fact that you're going to put on body fat.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah,
it's
100%.
not something you can avoid. And then you take another 3-4 months to diet down.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
So now let's talk about the dieting down part.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so first, let's say January to August, you bulked up. Right? You put on a good 8-10 kilos. As you said, by eating the right food, right? In excess, okay, going on a bulk doesn't mean eat a pizza every day, eat anything you want.
100%.
Right? That's what I'm just quoting what he said, right? But it's also cutting, watching out what you eat, but still eating on a surplus. So you've done that till August.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's time to get shredded to the bone. Right? Like what you did. So now what do you do?
So you need to again get your macros and your calories, and then start doing your adjustments weekly basis. I would say weekly because I'm talking about competition prep and being ripped to the bone. Okay. So changes should happen once a week, and for some people once in 10 days, once in 2 weeks. Okay. So you need to see what's the best way of doing it. Right?
Okay.
So in my case, I did once a week of adjustments. I have my refeed day on Sunday, a diet break. You'll be slowly cutting your calories and you'll be on a deficit.
Okay.
And maybe increasing when you're being very quite lean, you can increase your protein intake up to 1.25, 1.5 because you're very, very lean. And that would be the most simplest way I would say.
Right.
And when you're bulking also, you don't have to necessarily try to stick to eating clean 100%, which is quite hard. If I've reached a point where I almost got 5,000 calories every day for good 3 weeks. So I would chug about 100 grams of brown sugar every night.
Okay.
Right. And I would have my times of having pizza. But having a coach would help. If you crave for pizza or cake when you're on a bulk, you can totally have it. But just try to always do it in a a cleaner way. It's okay to have your pizza. It's okay to incorporate your cake. It's okay to incorporate your caramel cake.
That's during your bulk period.
Yeah, but when you're cutting it down,
you need to be disciplined. When we watch your stories, your commitment, we see you counting macros, right? So counting macros is a very complicated thing for the normal guy. If you're competing, you are aware of it, but if you're a normal general gym junkie, right? It's like you measure what you eat.
Yeah.
Right. If it's 100 grams of rice, you exactly eat 100 grams of rice. If it's
Yeah.
200 grams of chicken, you eat exactly 200 grams of chicken. Is that the only way to get super shredded? Can we? Because is it practical for anyone to do it? Keeping competitors aside, like a normal guy who wants to actually do you have to do that whole thing, or can you just eat by a framework, like eat clean food, train hard, that kind of approach?
Okay. So there are two ways. One is flexible dieting, and one is the way that I did for my competition, and which I prefer doing so. Like I want a framework. I want someone to tell me. I want my coach to tell me, here, this is what you can eat for breakfast, meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, 5, whatever. And like I can just follow the same nutrition plan for like however long I'm asked to do it. Because that way, like I can just focus on this food. Like towards the latter part of the whole process, when I want to be very ripped and competition ready, I don't want to do flexible dieting. But that is another option people can use, which I haven't done.
Okay.
But I might do it this year end. I'm not sure yet.
Would you recommend that to your clients? What approach do you give your clients? You give, okay, you need to eat rice, chicken, eggs, first meal eggs, second meal rice, like that kind of approach, or you say these are your options, you can go up to this many calories. What do you tell your clients?
Okay, so when it comes to my clients, I still haven't started like
The flexible
the
approach.
flexible approach, but I do give them like carby options. Sweet potato, white potato with their carbs counted. So if they want, let's say 65 grams of rice, like 65 grams of rice approximately has about 50 carbs. So for that, I'll fit white potato, sweet potato, and they have 3 options. So they can change whenever they want and just have the food. But flexible dieting, in other words, would be like fitting your macros.
But to diet down to that very abs and the popping veins kind of look, you have to count your macros.
100%.
Okay, you have to count that. That's what I want to see. Maybe a lot of people want to see, how do you? They say, I've lost 10 kilos, but now it's kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
How do I take it to the next level of getting the veins, the
Yeah.
abs? But most guys want to have the look they are going for.
Yeah.
So for that, you would say you need to start counting your macros.
100%.
That's a commitment you have to make.
Yeah,
And if not,
if you want to reach that level, which not everyone can eat.
Not everyone can do it.
Yeah, they don't want, like, that's a level of commitment that you want to, like, in order for you to see your best physique, you need to do that.
On that same line,
Yeah.
how much do you spend on food per week?
So your carbs and
Because you buy a ton of chicken breast, beef.
I mean, like, yeah, that's the only protein. Like, the protein is the most expensive part of the whole, meal prepping. Carbs, of course, that's okay.
Yeah.
But
Protein,
when it
getting
comes,
protein stuff.
when it comes to chicken, beef, prawns, potato.
Roughly, how much would you spend per week on food? Just to give, I'm just trying to give you all an idea, because eating clean and building that very easy physique actually comes at a very high price. I don't think everyone can't just it comes at a high cost because protein is expensive.
Yeah.
Chicken breast,
Yeah,
beef,
yeah.
eggs are probably the cheaper source. If not, it's expensive. How much do you roughly spend
So,
on food?
If I actually did the calculation right
Okay.
now. So
Just an approximate.
approximately I have about 800 grams of chicken, beef, or whatever every day now. So I can get about 200 grams of protein. So 800 is about $1,000.
Okay.
So about 30,000 for chicken.
Just for chicken
Just
a
for,
month.
and I don't mind having chicken breast, boneless chicken breast for the rest of the month.
Okay.
So about 30,000, about 40, 45.
Okay, so your protein sources are mostly chicken?
Yeah, I prefer
eggs.
the food.
Okay, prefer food. Okay. On that same line, since you said you prefer real food, jump into supplementation. What's your supplementation routine like? No, first question would be, are supplements important as people say they are?
I mean, supplements. What supplements are we talking about? Is it like
I'm talking about general
the
supplements.
essential supplements, the vitamins and all?
The whey protein, the pre-workouts, the BCAAs, the creatine.
Okay.
The usuals which you find at a supplement store.
Okay, so
What's your approach to supplementation?
Go for it, right? Okay, so how can a whey protein isolate or a carnivore,
Whichever the brand.
yeah, whichever the brand, it'll help you with your protein intake, right? If I have 200 grams of protein to have let's say 200 grams. If I have 2 scoops of gold standard whey, which has about 50 grams of protein, I have to only worry about 150 just getting the like, you know, my natural food, which I did when I was bulking, but towards the competition was getting closer, towards my last 2 months, I prefer real food, you know, because I'm hungry all the time, and I would eat a lot of veggies and stuff. So creatine is another source. You can get it from your beef, your chicken, red meat.
Yeah.
But like getting that 5 grams extra when you are exerting a lot of energy in the gym, and you know you want to focus on building muscle, you get that extra edge. Okay. And apart from that, your EPA, DHA, your vitamins, your magnesium, your multivitamin is also very essential. It will give you that extra
often
edge.
ignored.
Yeah.
Often ignored, but what you so your general supplementation is a whey, a creatine, and
I would now a pre, like I always
and a
love my
pre-workout and a pre-workout.
I always bug him to get me a pre-workout.
Apart from but what I liked what you said was protein or whey protein only gives you a part of your requirement.
100%. It makes your life easier.
Unfortunately, like everyone in this industry has misled, and people have been misled to think, you know, these give you unrealistic results. You know, Yohan or anyone wouldn't make a physique just by having a whey protein. Right? It's the eating, and it's just whey protein like 5-10% just to help you get that little extra.
Yeah.
So as for supplementation, you would prefer whey, a creatine. And so what do you think about the other stuff? The BCAAs, the glutamine, not essential. What's your take on those?
So glutamine, of course, personally, glutamine, I started taking glutamine towards the latter part of the competition when I was leading out, and I would cramp up, and my recovery was not that great. So I started taking glutamine, right?
Right.
And
but you would list down the stuff you might find important: creatine, whey protein.
Yeah, the most essential.
3 only if you need energy. That's it.
That's it. Those are the 3 my go-to. Like I would always have a creatine in my stack. I'll always, not always, but towards the competition, I had a whey protein. Not anymore.
Isolate.
Isolate. I don't get carnivore because I would get acne.
There are certain brands which don't work well with people.
Other people. So you have to try out your...
But there's nothing called the best supplement.
No.
There's nothing called the best creatine, the best pre-workout. I mean, it's just literally what works for you, right? Keeping nutrition aside, jumping to training quickly. What's your routine like? Off-season, in-season? Just talk through your training. Okay,
6 days a week. Sunday is my off day, and Sunday is my proper rest day where I eat a lot of food and all. So Monday to Saturday, off season, in season,
right?
Same
kind of training.
How else do you want me to get in?
Right. What's the split like? Push pull, or do you do the bro split? Chest, Monday, triceps.
So right now, I still haven't signed up with my new coach. So I'm just doing my own thing for the past 2 months, since like December, because I was done with my prep. And while I was on my prep, I would touch base on major muscle groups 2 to 3 a week. Okay. And not a push pull or nothing as such. Right now I'm just doing my Monday chest day. So I train my arms 4 days a week. But
arms 4 days a week. That's crazy. But all right. So you would say hit the same muscle group twice a week. So if it's legs twice a week, chest twice a week.
And to try different variations. Obviously.
Rep ranges. What do you think?
So I would always love to do 6 numbers.
Hypertrophy to make it look cool.
But your threshold is from 1 rep to 30. But my rep range would be 6, right?
6 reps.
6 reps, man.
Even in season? Off
season? No. So it's a whole different ball game.
Off season we're talking about.
But towards the end of the last prep, my gosh, I was doing about 24 reps towards the last 2 days of the week.
Let's call it during the muscle building.
So I would say 6 to 12.
6 to 12. Okay. Awesome. So you train 6 days a week. Hitting 2 muscle groups. The same muscle group twice a week. So quickly jumping into recovery. How important is it? What do you do for recovery? Just to touch upon that as well.
I try to go to bed at least by 9:30, 10, and I wake up early. Apart from that, I have my
sleep is your go-to. Water.
I make sure I have 4 liters a day.
You drink a ton of water.
Yeah,
I
I
have
have
seen
like
your gallon.
two bottles
Yeah.
of 2.2, so I get more than 4 liters every day. Recovery as such, yeah, and I make sure like my food is on point, my sleep, my rest.
Do you go for
everything.
additional sources, supplementation for recovery, or you just purely rely on food?
Yeah, man.
Okay, that's good. That's also from Yohan, what you would say is that's good enough. You're enough if you get enough sleep, if you get enough water, right? That's good enough,
Yeah,
is what
man.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, one question I want to ask on training and I missed is balancing. Okay, I mean, generally we guys want to lift heavy as possible. So, is it okay to sacrifice the
weight.
the quality of the rep or the movement for weight, or should you focus? I would say, sorry, technique, or would you focus more on technique and less weight, or more on weight and less technique? What is the approach when it comes to lifting heavy weights and also having the best technique and form?
Okay, two things. First is technique. Second is your eccentric part of the movement, which is your negative.
Okay.
I tell all of my clients, so I would break it down. Like if I'm giving like an 8-week program, there will be like a column to follow, like the intensity column, RP column. So the first week moderate, second week moderate high, and then week 6th and 7th you go max out. So the first week you will be basically understanding your movement, the technique, and you should always maintain your negative, right? Okay. It's totally fine. Like when you're in a pro level, when you're going heavy, doesn't like your what do you call your eccentric, your negative doesn't matter much. But at the start, being like a at the start,
Just
you
to
should
pause, by eccentric you mean
your
negative
negative.
rep.
So
Someone
it
who
has
might
to be
not know.
it has to be your you focus on a negative rep, and then maintaining temp. That is about it. Okay. And
But
weight
lifting heavy is important
it's important, but like
without sacrificing technique.
Exactly. So
Okay.
once you're properly aligned with the movement, the negative movement and everything, latter part of this thing, you can.
So something you guys can learn is how Yohan emphasizes on the importance of the negative rep, which is not often done. I mean, if it's a bench press, we just want to push it and then just drop it back.
Drop it back slowly.
Where he would advise to kind of control. So we spoke about training, nutrition, a lot of things we spoke about. To kind of cap off this interview, we'll stop with something a little controversial and not very spoken of. Right? Everyone wants fast results.
Yeah.
They are like, what's the best supplement? How do I quickly get shredded?
Yeah.
How do I quickly look, like one of these guys on magazines or whatever, right? So I mean, there's a path that people have gone to, which we call PEDs, right? Performance enhancing drugs. Now we are not making any statement on regarding of that. We believe it's a personal choice, but I'm just gonna put the question to you. What's your personal take on it? Because a lot of 20, 21 years when they start gymming, because the truth is, naturally, you're going to take a very long time to build a good physique. I would say 5-6 years plus to at least look like a guy who goes to the gym regularly to build that quality muscle. And we lack patience. Yeah. I mean, everyone, including, anyone wants to do what you can to quickly build down the muscle, look ripped, look like a guy who goes to the gym. Yeah. Also, we lack patience. Yeah. Right? So, which has led to PEDs being a very common thing. Yeah. What's your personal take on PEDs and whatever we want to add on that topic? So just before we finish off.
Okay, so I'll take one of the examples I've come across with like about 4 to 5 clients of mine, not clients, rather people who have come to me. So these young boys, this particular example is about a boy who was 17 or 18, and he has taken something orally. Yeah. Okay. And he doesn't even know about food, he doesn't know anything about it. So you need to have understanding about your nutrition, and as nothing against with PED or steroids.
The people who use it or anyone.
Yeah, you just have to do it right. And if you want to do it, if you want to be totally on it, right, to be make that your bread and butter, then I hope you're
aware of the consequences
and you need to how can I put it, I hope it'll take you somewhere, but not just for the physique aspect and the look of it. And if you're doing it, do it right. Don't let it ruin your whole
health.
Don't let
the gym ayas take you.
Gym ayas, there's a lot of gym ayas, Mali make gun, gun, still do your research, or contact a person like me, contact a person who's a reliable coach who. Okay. Yeah, that's about it.
So your personal my final word would be it's up to you, but
It's up to you.
be aware of what you're getting into and make sure it's worth it.
And
do your own
paid
research.
is actually good. Like I might do it when I'm like 35, 40.
There's a side to it which I
Yeah.
think we will talk probably with someone. Like to talk. There's a side to it that. But as of now, we will
Again.
leave it at the point. You know,
Yeah.
be aware. Don't do your own research and stuff like that. That should pretty much wrap it all. Hope you guys learn something out of this. We try to do these podcasts just to bring some value, talk with different athletes, different approaches they have. Yohan has a different approach, someone else might have a different approach, but it's also good to learn from them, get whatever they have and apply what will work for you, and hopefully we'll see you with another one.